Well, hello again, MGTOW. Welcome back to my truck. Today, I got a mixture of things I want to talk about. Number one, I want to talk a little bit about kids. I want to talk a little bit about, some of the importance that men put on kids, right? Let's face it, most guys aren't thinking about having kids when they go in a relationship. They're thinking the woman is beautiful. They're thinking that they want to sex her. They're looking at her clothing. They imagine a scenario where they'll be happy with her for a long time. Perhaps going to the beach or whatever, showing her in public. Being in social settings with her, and other people seeing him in public with her, right? The social approval that comes with that, with having a nice looking girl, right? I mean, you're the man, right? Because you got, you went to bed with somebody that's hot, right? So these are some of the things that go through men's minds when they meet a woman that they like, right? They want to take her panties off. They want to bang her hard. They picture her maybe, I don't know, yelling and screaming in a bed or something, right? That turns them on. And, guys aren't thinking about kids. They really aren't. The last thing any guy wants is to settle down. We men, we're free spirits, right? We are designed, right, to be out here and to have fun, to play the rough games, the competitive games, and to explore our world, our universe, and to explore ourselves, right, our inner workings, the inner workings of the mind, to push the limits of what we can do physically. That's what men are all about. And then, of course, as I've mentioned in previous videos, men also build, right? When the world is not to our liking, we change it. We use our will, our imagination, our creativity to bring about the changes required for us to live in a new and improved world. And that includes changes in our political system, systems of governance, as well as physical changes. So, no one's thinking of kids, right? At least not the men, right? The women, they want to sleep around too, until they reach that age where, if they haven't tackled the man, right? If they haven't coerced a man into settling, right, and giving up his dreams, then they want to have kids, right? 35, 40, whatever, before she dries up, right? Before menopause. But once the kids are born, right? Say kids are born, we men, it is said that. And I think it was it's a woman herself who said it. The author of The Manipulated Men. The Manipulated Man. Her name escapes me, but in her book she says that I'm paraphrasing here, but she says that men are really the true emotional beings, right? Because we feel, we're not cold and heartless, manipulating, calculating. We actually feel for other people. We have true brotherhood. And so once the kids are born, we begin getting used to having them around, even though we may not initially have wanted to have them. We may not initially wanted to have that responsibility of taking that responsibility on our shoulders, right? Of bringing another person to the world and having to care for them for the until they reach the age of maturity, legal maturity, or until they can take care of themselves. So we don't take, we didn't want the responsibility, but the kids, what are we gonna do, right? The kids are here. That's what most men think. Her pregnancy was a mistake, or this and that, blah blah, whatever bullshit she managed to get across you. So she justified her calculated pregnancy, so she could sit back and not do anything for the rest of her life, or at least a big portion of it. And so we justify ourselves, right? We justify our actions based on what she says and what society says or whatnot. So now the kids are here, right? And we begin, feeling for the kids, right? We like the kids, and so not, after all, they're our kids. They're human beings, right? And they're innocent. Why hate them? But, and here's the kicker, right? Here's where a lot of men really lose their freedom. They forget. A lot of men forget. And now I'm gonna get shit for this video, even from some MGTOWs. But I'm just gonna come out and say the truth. The truth hurts, regardless. A lot of men forget that initial way of thinking that they had. They forget that they did not want kids in the first place. They forget that these human beings, these additional human beings that came to the world, did so based on her lies. And they let the woman manipulate him, right? These men let women manipulate them based on this new reality and this new appreciation for those human beings that came to the world. You see? People forget too quickly. I believe that we shall not, as men, right? And again, by saying I believe, this is only an opinion. You can do as you wish. But we shall not, collectively, or individually for that matter, as men, permit this situation to take place. This situation where the giving up of our dreams and our desires and our ambitions is forgotten, right? Replaced by what she wanted. And we end up settling, right? Based on, the justification, right? Or justifying our settling based on what, the fact that these additional human beings are here. Human beings are here. If kids come to the world, and this is my opinion, if kids come to the world and she did you wrong, right? She lied to you, she cheated on you. We might not even call it cheating because they do it so much. But if she lied to you, right? If she had other relationships, intimate relationships with other men while she was siphoning off your resources, right? Even if kids were present, you have all the rights in the world, morally speaking. And yes, I'm an atheist. And yes, I'm speaking from a moral standpoint here. And no, morality is not linked, inextricably linked to religion, right? It's not. Religion should not have a monopoly on morality. These are my truths. And they could be yours if you choose to adopt them. So I'm making a moral judgment here, right? For whatever that moral judgment can be valued, right? But I believe that it's your right, your duty, your obligation to walk away, not just from the woman, but from the kids as well, if it puts you in a situation where your liberty and is at risk, and your dreams are set aside, and your very life ends up being worth nothing to the world, right? You have to value yourself above everything. You must remember that women are completely selfish, and when the kids grow up, especially if they're little girls, they're gonna grow up to be women. Many kids simply don't appreciate the value of a father, right? You're fighting a media establishment dominated by mega corporations that have a vested interest in things remaining what they are when it comes to human relationships. And they, meaning the corporations, will do everything in their power with their seemingly limitless resources to make sure that you look like a bouffon and a deadbeat to your kids and to her. The law is there so that you walk away. But when you do walk away, right, and when you do walk away, not just from her but from the kids, you should do it knowing that it's not your fault. And you should do it without remorse. Now, this is pretty strong. I'm talking about walking away. I'm talking about abandoning kids without remorse, right? Leaving them basically standing in the line of fire, right? Say, sweet Padre, you're such a fucking asshole. You have no God. You're talking about leaving kids behind. You're talking about walking away from the women, walking away from society. You're talking about fuck this government. You're talking about all these other things, right? No. Well, in a sense I am. But what I am really talking about is your personal freedom. And I'm talking about not letting anything stand in your way of your happiness. Because life is short. See? Life is short. And when you're dealing with people who will do whatever they have to do to enslave you, then you have every right in the world to be the same. These values of mercy and compassion and forgiveness and, quote unquote, giving back, right? Self-sacrifice, altruism, all these values brought about by Christianity, right? Let's just put it like this: people never really lived up to them. They sound good on paper, but just like socialism, these values were never really the main values of civilization, right? Western society. People talked about them, but we never really lived up to them. Before Christianity, the world was it was a tough world. It was a cut and dry place. I want to talk a little bit about Christianity, and also I want to talk about democracy, how it all came about. before Christianity, the world was a tough place. There was, for the most part, hierarchical government, right? Ruled by might, ruled by force. There was no democracy. It was a top-down approach, right? And you say, well, yes, no one rules alone, but the ruling was certainly not democratic. It was dictatorial, right? Much like corporations are run nowadays. You have a chain of command, and from decisions are made at the top, with information gathered from all aspects of the business, and then people who are very knowledgeable and very smart, who are constantly challenged, as to why they're there, right? They hold that post, and the decisions come from above, and everybody else just follows, right? Down to the very last peon at the bottom of the chain of command. So before Christianity, again, the world was tough. Everything was a chain of command. We had no democracy, right? And we just have to look at the entertainment, right? That was the ways in which people entertain themselves, and we have some of that sort of entertainment left over from those days of yore. From bullfights to gladiator shows, to sports fighting. It was bloody, and people enjoy seeing the blood. They do. To this day, they do. But they enjoy seeing it from a safe distance, right? They enjoy condoning it from a protected place. And women are, if anything, the number one consumers of these blood sports. They love it. They love the chaos. Anyways, but because of Christianity, right, people began to at least aspire to wanting to live up to these values, right? But in 2,000 years, 2,000 plus years of Christianity, we have not reached a lasting peace. We still have prisons, people still commit crimes, right? We still have the problems of, what do we do with, the bastardization of children, right? Much like the Romans did have that problem, and the Greeks also did, right? So, the problem was temporarily solved. This problem of, kids, right, becoming bastards, right, because of the actions of women, right? It was solved by peddling out marriage, by making it basically compulsory for men through shaming and through legal tactics. Excuse me, I lost my gear here, guys. Through shaming, through legal tactics or whatnot, right? Socially accepted norms or whatever. It was it was made so that men would see no other way but to attach themselves to these bimbos who would do them wrong and oppress them and hold them back from achieving their dreams. And sometimes I wonder how much more progress would we as men have realized in our society. Excuse me here, guys, I'm gonna put this video on pause, but I want to finish a sentence here real quick in case I lose the video. How much more progress if we didn't have to deal with these girls, right? All right, I'm gonna put it in pause. If not, I'll see you later. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Anyways, MGTOW, yeah, we went through that toll booth there. I'm reaching my destination here. But yeah, we were talking about kids, right? And how we should be okay with just walking away. Anyways, I'll catch you in the next one. I lost my train of thought here, so I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye.